Nelson Mandela, life in prison. Nelson Mandela was sent to prison during the year of 1962. He was sent to Pretoria local prison, to be exact, for leaving the country without a passport and for incitement. Incitement is urging someone to behave unlawfully. He was speaking to a group about ending apartheid and got arrested for it. After being brought to the jail of Pretoria local prison, he was sent to Robben Island. After being sent to Robben Island, he would spend a month before being sent back to Pretoria local prison. During Mandela's first 5 years in prison, he was confined to a small cell where he would spend cold winter nights and suffocating summers and could only talk to one person for 30 minutes during an overall year. While Mandela sentenced in prison at Pretoria local prison, the South African government attacked a farm in Ravania. This is where they found Mandela's plans to overthrow the country, and he was soon sent back to the dreaded Robben Island. Mandela was sent to Robben Island for reasons of high treason. High treason is when someone goes against his or her country, such as Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold was on the American side in the beginning of the American Revolution, but then soon turned to the British side. South Africans simply called Robben Island simply the island. They called it simply the island due to the work that went on there. Nelson Mandela was asked how his life in prison was there. He said, "I came out." Tourists went to the prison. They couldn't imagine how they kept clean. People at Robben Island were exposed to the sun and had to crush rocks every day. During Mandela's time at Robben Island, there was still discrimination. The only Asian member of the African National Congress was given correct cut clothing and a good diet, while Mandela and the other blacks were given short and an extremely bad diet. Mandela was given little food and suffered until he won over the hearts of the prison authorities. By the 1970s, Mandela had won over the hearts of the prison authorities that had asked him for advice on things, but yet Robben Island still remained the same. It was still a prison. Mandela would stay in his cell, never knowing how long his imprisonment would last, making him even more anxious. In the 80s, bad things started to happen as the South African government killed 600 students in the cities of Soweto and Sharpeville. The whole world took notice, as South Africa had killed 600 teens. As the whole world watched, South Africa was pressured to release Mandela. All this pressure led South Africa to move Mandela away from Robben Island. The jail that Mandela was sent to was much nicer, but it was still jail. During the year 1982, Mandela was transferred to Pollsmoor Prison, which is not as harsh as Robben Island, but is still jail. During the year of 1985, one of Mandela's partners in the ANC against South Africa, Dennis Goldberg, is released from Pollsmoor Prison. Sadly, soon, Nelson Mandela was diagnosed with tuberculosis. He got this tuberculosis from all the exposure at Robben Island. He was soon taken to a hospital and then went soon back to prison. This time, prison was at Victor Verster Prison. Finally, in 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Nelson Mandela also became the first black president at South Africa in the same exact year. Soon after, he won the Nobel Peace Prize And sadly, in 2013, he died of tuberculosis. After sadly hearing the news of Nelson Mandela's death, the world had to blame someone, and they blamed the old South African government and the conditions at Robben Island, which gave him the tuberculosis. That was Nelson Mandela, life in prison.